Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. My name is Jeffrey Davis, and I'm the host of the show. But this week, we're being hosted all week by the South Shore Chamber of Commerce. And I don't want to mix up our listeners. My co-host for the week, Laurel Egan Kenny, is now on the other side of the table, and she is representing as president and CEO of Turningpoint Communications. Welcome to the other side of the table.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey.
So tell us about Turningpoint Communications.
Great. So I've been in business for 8.5 years, and I came out of about 12 or 13 years in financial services marketing, specifically working with treasury management and wealth management professionals, and this ended up evolving in my own business. I promote the thought leadership of folks who are in the treasury management and wealth management space by doing marketing communications and sales training.
For those people.
So
was there a big need in financial services for what you do?
I would say, actually, you know what the biggest need is for people who are specialists in a particular business line to serve that capacity serve in a marketing capacity. That's where I found a big void. And as most marketing people know, even though it's counterintuitive, the more focused and specific you are, the better it is for your business.
Right. Interesting. You do a lot of work across industries. Do you find that in terms of marketing and sales that the financial services industry is underdeveloped, overdeveloped, or just an average industry?
I think it's definitely a mature industry. There are some components that are evolving, albeit, treasury management space is definitely on the mature side. I find that some of the folks who have been in treasury management, it's a small group of folks, and they tend to be, I don't want to say aging, but they're definitely the demographic is aging for sure. So when you have people, I find that they've been in the industry for not 10, more like 20, 25, 35 years. It's an incredible thing, and hence they have a lot of thought leadership and subject matter expertise to share. So that's what I help them to bring out.
Right. And do you find it any more difficult doing sales training with those people than anyone else?
It's funny, when I go in with a sales training, with my eye towards sales training, I always tell them that they know more than I do. What we're going to do is kind of repackage what they know. And they tend to, that breaks down any walls or any fear that, who's this whippersnapper coming in here to shake things up, when it just sort of diffuses that feeling of angst, and it gets people talking, and it gets people learning. When you open your mind, you can learn. Now,
I don't like it when people ask me this question, but I get to ask it, so it's easier. Do you have a particular philosophy about sales and sales training?
I do. It's definitely all about the relationship. It takes the sting out of a sale if you have developed a relationship appropriately, and if you have a strong sense of empowering the other person on the other side of the table, and have developed that relationship over time, and perhaps even have moved from professional to personal types of relationships. It takes the sale out of the sale.
Do you have a thought about individual training versus group training for sales, and how much time, let's say, individuals need to really develop?
Yeah, for me, groups, but small groups, so that it's an intimate type of setting and they can get to know one another. Most of the time, these people have some likeness, whether they're at the same bank or whether they're using the same banking products. They can assimilate together over that type of kinship.
Right.
And then they get to know one another. And oftentimes when I train bankers, they're the only one in their bank doing what they do. So what they find that they like is that they find someone else who's in that same boat,
right,
even though that person may be across the country, maybe across the state, maybe across the city. And what we do is diffuse that whole feeling of competitive nature as well. So, we just say we're in a learning environment, use this as such, and what happens here stays here.
Laurel, if somebody wants to find you in your
Sure.
Other hat,
yes,
how would they find you?
So that's Laurel at Turningpoint Communications, plural, all spelled out, .com. And please do visit. We have a Facebook page. We're on LinkedIn, and website, turningpointcommunications.com.
And on